What's up, heathens? How ya doing? Today we're going to be getting into more of the comments here on the channel and on social media in general, but first we have to crown the dumbass from last week. And last week's dumbass was this dumbass right here. Yes, you, asking about why are there still monkeys if we evolved from monkeys. Are you shitting me right now? We're living in the 21st goddamn century. You should know this by now. But regardless, you win Dumbass of the Week for last week because you asked this dumbass question. If you picked this dumbass last week, then you win 1,000,000 God points. Remember, these God points are worth about as much as expecting Trump not to say something racist. Just to let you know, Trump is totally racist. Speaking of dipshits, somebody doesn't like it when I interrupt D Marble. Somebody tells me to go away from YouTube, Dumas. And apparently there are multiple people praying for my soul. And the army of God doesn't like profanity. Somebody doesn't understand how the Bible was written, or why it was written. And finally, we get a question about what happens when an atheist dies. So, if you're interested in any of these dumbass comments and questions apparently, then please stay tuned. But first, before we get to the comments, we have Today I Learned. First up on Today I Learned that researchers have found a way to purify water and produce electricity from a single device powered by sunlight. The scientists adapted a solar panel that not only generated power, but used some of the heat energy to distill and purify seawater. And I have to say, that is fantastic. The more things that we can do that are like green energy centered, I think is very worthwhile, putting our focus on. And I think that we need to do more things like this, figure out more ways to use that kind of energy because it is green, it's renewable. It's not like coal or anything like that destroys our environment. I think that this right here is a very good project for people to do. Next on Today I Learned that a new study has showed that labeling food choices in a hospital cafeteria with simple traffic light symbols indicating the relative health value was associated with a reduction in calories purchased by employees and that the dietary changes were sustained over 2 years. And that is an awesome thing to know, but if you were to use that in like the real world and not like a hospital cafeteria or anything like that, I think that most places would be red light shit. Like even the salads at goddamn Burger King have like 1,200 fucking calories in it for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but that would get a fucking red stoplight right there because that's like all of your goddamn calories in one fucking salad. And then finally on Today I Learned that in 1948 a man wore 30-pound three-toed lead shoes and stomped around a Florida beach during the night. The footprints led people to believe that a 15-foot tall penguin was roaming the land. He kept up the prank for 10 years, visiting other beaches. The hoax wasn't revealed until 40 years later. And I have to say, that is one fucking dedicated person right there. I have to say, that's a successful hoax. Like, if you were to have literally done that now with YouTube, I don't think it'd be as popular, but I mean, holy shit, to see the culmination of it. So you wouldn't do like an actual hoax, like putting that shit out there and then watching people react to it or anything like that, because then you would want people to see it and you would have to reveal that it was a hoax. But if you, if this guy like recorded himself doing it and then recorded reactions and did it like over a 10-year period and then released that, oh, that would be such a fucking good video. That's a hoax video I would watch. Mainly because it's not, harmful to people and couldn't potentially get you arrested or killed. Like, can we go back to those kind of hoaxes and shit? Like the ones that don't hurt people is what I mean. Ah, yes, now it's out of context comics. If you guys don't know, I love the fuck out of these. If you want to give me an out of context comic, then please hit me up on Twitter at Godless Engineer. And so this out of context comic just has a robot. If you know what comic this is from, please let me know in the comments down below because I have no idea. But the robot says, "I am sorry, I was not built to comfort," and it's got the little boy or girl crying. right there on the robot, but it's just it's just so weird because it seems like the robot has enough empathy to be sorry to not comfort the person, but yet can't comfort the person. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. But anyways, all robots aren't built for comfort unless it's specifically a comfort robot, I guess. I don't know. Oh shit, here we go again. Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Oh, fuck yes. What is up, y'all? What type of spider made this web? Holy fucking shit. What? That's the kind of spider I don't want to fucking meet. That's for goddamn sure. It says it's a giant water lily, but that's a giant water lily spider, okay? Basically what they do is they lay these little little traps out there, and when frogs and shit jump on it, they get stuck, and then they come back because they leave after they poop out their little spider webby, like, green things. Anyways, they come back and then they'll slurp up all the frogs and shit that get caught on these things, okay? So they're like little sticky pad, like, you know, that you put down for roaches and shit, but don't eat roaches. That's just disgusting. They only do that over in Asia and shit. If you want that shit, go to fucking Asia. Around here, spiders, giant fucking spiders, which I'm surprised this guy right here don't get eaten up by a spider, because you know there's one hiding on the shore somewhere, probably in a nice little hole that he dug, kind of like those little jumping or those, what are the trapdoor spiders or something? I don't know. They dig a hole in the ground and then they're scary as fuck. They jump out. It's the same situation here. These pads, they catch the frogs and the fish and whatever the fuck is jumping around in the goddamn little pond area there, and then they jump out and they eat them some bitches up real quick. And they're giant fucking ones, kind of like in that 8-Legged Freaks movie. I don't know if you've seen that particular one, but these spiders get fucking huge. Well, these are spiders that escaped from that particular movie set because they actually made huge ass fucking spiders to put in the film. Sadly enough, they genetically engineered one of them to poop out these lily pad looking thingies as their spider webs, and now they roam the countryside catching frogs and shit and eating them up. And I think this guy probably died in the picture. I mean, to be quite honest, he probably is about to get fucking eaten right now. This is like that last picture before somebody dies and you know they're gonna die. He's holding up that fucking spider webby green thing, and he's about to get eaten by the pond spider thing. Let's call them pond spiders. That sounds a lot nicer, doesn't it? Pond spiders. It's like you think it's really small, but nope, you're fucked. Alright, that's it for me. Y'all go back to doing your fucking comments and shit. Goodbye. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed this shitty ass science. These lily pads are fucking cool. Don't listen to what that other guy said. Don't listen to him at all. That was just sad. What? You don't understand the fucking point of the bit? You created it, motherfucker. Fuck, I know. Fuck. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Well, finally we get to comments of the day. Prepare to face bomb yourself into next week. All right, first comment. What do we got? This really sucked. You didn't let D Marble say a full sentence. I'm no fan of his, but would like to hear what he says before you comment. Oh, well, fuck me for responding to bullshit that he says. I get that sometimes I might stop things really quick or just a few seconds after I last inserted some kind of commentary, but the fact is that D Marble says a lot of fucking dumb shit, and so I want to address things as they come up. If you want to watch his whole unfiltered video, it's always linked in the description. You don't like my video or my response or how I respond to him, just go watch the original fucking video first. No skin off my goddamn back. Quit bitching. You have a passion to tear apart flat Earth. It's kind of funny considering you think it's fantasy. Yeah, I do think it's a fantasy, and I do tear it apart regularly. Not so much lately, but I'm getting back into it here in a little bit. I tear it apart because it's anti-science. It's pseudo-science, but they're pushing it as being like actual science. So it's actually fucking wrong, and I want to correct people on it. I want people to have like the response to whatever bullshit they're putting out there. So yeah, I'll continue to dismantle it as long as they keep saying stupid shit. Okay, fair enough. We get you're atheist, but if you don't believe in God, why do you troll God so much? I don't believe in Santa Claus. You don't see me making videos reading Christmas cards. At what point do you realize how sad this is? Okay, so this is on our Daily Bible podcast where we're reading through the Bible in order to actually know what the Bible says. And I don't see it as much as, well, I guess it is kind of trolling. Not trolling God, but like my initial beginning summary of it is definitely troll worthy because I'm obviously misrepresenting what we're actually going to learn that day, and then we go into the actual Bible study of it to know what it actually says. I mean, that's just how I've chosen to structure it because, I mean, honestly, the Bible, it's fucking boring. The way that I put a spin on it, at least it's kind of interesting. I mean, the other day on the Bible podcast, like this week's Bible podcast, I had David sucking God's dick in order to get 3 wishes like he was a goddamn genie from a bottle. So that's way more interesting than the actual story of Solomon being visited by God in a dream and asking for wisdom and shit. And then God's like, well, I'll give you more than that, motherfucker. So yeah, I don't believe in God, and the Bible is one of the reasons why I don't believe in the Yahweh God, but also what kind of led me to not believing in a God in general, because while I didn't know the entire Bible when I became an atheist, I did know important portions of it because I had been to, Catholic private schools. And they taught what they felt were the important parts of the Bible, the important lessons and everything like that, which included Noah and the various magic of Jesus, the various magic tricks of Jesus. So I knew those things were bullshit, and therefore I couldn't accept the Bible as being representative of reality in general. I now work against the belief that I used to hold because it's bullshit, and I want other people to know how bullshit it is. Go away from G. Dumas. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you abbreviated YouTube to YT, but I always like pronouncing what you write literally. And then you said Dumas, which I'm guessing you meant dumbass. You just misspelled it, which, by the way, would have a B and another S in it. It's so ironic that you call me a dumbass, but yet you can't even spell dumbass. I would hope that you would at least get that word right. And no, not going away from YouTube. You guys are fucking stuck with me, so either like me or don't. This short, fat, foul-mouthed, insecure troll influences and entertains only the most feeble-minded lemmings amongst us. Nuff said. Oh, God, why you gotta put 5 goddamn dots for an ellipsis? Oh, goddamn. Why the fuck? Short, fat, foul-mouthed, insecure troll. I'm not insecure. I'm actually very secure. That's why I talk about dick all the time. And then foul-mouthed? Yeah, I'm foul-mouthed. So the fuck what? Move the fuck on if you don't fucking like it. Fat? I don't care if you think I'm fat. I know I'm fat. I'm fine with it. Short? I'm mediocre-sized. Godless engineer. I ask in all seriousness, my man, how does the loss from Hovind weigh on your spirit? Well, I didn't lose at the Hovind debate. Maybe I didn't do as well as some people would have liked me to have done, or I didn't have the best and the perfect responses to his bullshit. I didn't cover all of his bullshit, but I didn't lose to Hovind. So it's actually not weighing at all on my spirit. Truly, you got schooled in every manner, intelligence displayed, articulation of argument, rational thought processes given and evidence supporting it, and all around in general were taken to school. Wow, my man! No, I wasn't taken to school. Mainly because school doesn't teach the shit that Hovind believes, because it's theological bullshit. It's not supported by reality. The man who says there is no God is a fool, says the Lord's word. Oh, okay, so you think I'm a fool just because I don't believe in God. Woo! See, here I thought that you were giving me actual criticism and not just some kind of theological position based on your faith. And is being willfully ignorant to soothe his conscience. That, though professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Wake up, God is trying to speak to you because he loves you, brother. No, God doesn't love me, for one, namely because I say fuck the Holy Spirit. Number 2, he doesn't really exist, at least not in any kind of detectable way that we can actually perceive. So there's no reason to act like he actually does exist. That's not to say that I know he doesn't exist. That just means that for all intents and purposes, just like the Loch Ness Monster or leprechauns, he doesn't exist. And I like how you perfectly exemplify the anti-intelligence or the anti-knowledge, really, stance of the Bible and of the Christian theology. Because Christian theology at its core is anti-knowledge. It's very much against having actual knowledge of reality, and they want you to substitute any knowledge of reality that you have for the knowledge of reality that they have. Christians and atheists both believe in a virgin birth. The difference is whether the birth was of Jesus or the universe. I don't know. I feel like comparing the virgin birth of Jesus to like the creation or the beginning of time, space, and matter to be a very bad analogy. Like, all analogies are inherently flawed because there's not a perfect comparison, out there. But I mean, it's not like I don't even know what you would mean by virgin birth, other than the fact that you claim the Big Bang happened out of nothing for no reason with nobody behind it, and that's just ridiculous. But you think God did it and created everything out of nothing, literally nothing, by the way, not a scientific version of nothing, but a literal nothing. See, that's where it really kind of deviates, because that scientific version of nothing is still something. Like, it's still material out there. But just because you don't understand that, it doesn't mean that your little quip or question here is correct in any kind of way. You're not an engineer. You don't even know science. I can't stop laughing on how dog shit stupid you are. All right, John Mike, I would love for you to prove that I'm not an engineer, when my 2 engineering degrees seem to say otherwise. Also, how am I dog shit stupid, especially in this one video? I don't understand that. This sloppy drunk is stupid as shit. You shouldn't be for castration and death to pedos, seeing as your fucking stupid religion that you can't prove you cake from a rock are about as smart as one. You thought fossils take time. You looked real stupid in that debate. Oh, fuck. Not another. God damn it. I have now become a flat earth just because if someone who's dumb as dog shit is this guy, then flat earthers can easily win. Tell your cousin parents to divorce and put down the alcohol, nasty slob. John is dumb as dog shit. Ha ha. I mean, were you drunk writing this? I don't ever get drunk. I have like 1 beer maybe, but that's about it. And even then, like, I'm not even buzzed. It's just, I do like the taste of Bud Light and beer in general. They taste really good to me. I like how he tries to throw it at me, like how any kind of failure that I might have in any of my debates or anything like that would cause him to become a flat earth. I'm guessing he meant flat earther. I always laugh at those particular things because, like, nobody's failure to defend an argument should cause somebody to become like a flat earther or anything. That's just fucking ridiculous. It's just a troll comment in order to make you feel bad about yourself. And I don't feel bad about myself. I do love how he uses dumb as dog shit, and he's constantly doing that throughout this entire thing. Definitely showing the love of Christ here. Profanity is just a weak man's attempt to be strong. I feel like this comment needs to end with, "You fucking idiot." It's actually been shown that people with higher IQs tend to like curse more, have a more verbose vocabulary if they do curse. So I really don't fucking mind that I fucking curse. You can go the fuck on. Another gross millennial baby. Actually, I took a millennial test and I scored a 0 on that sumbitch. The world has been destroyed more than 3 times, and we know this as facts. So every belief has passed on during every tragic world event. People are lost as you are. You are lost. They are lost. Yin and yang is a mastery to the blind. But I tell you, if you don't take time to meditate, fast, and pray, you will be caught up in this type of rift effect of confusion. Whew, fuck. I don't want to get caught up in the rift effect of confusion by not meditating, fasting, and praying. Whew, I'm so glad you gave me those 3 power tools in order to combat confusion. I'm wondering where he gets the whole 3 times, like the world has been destroyed 3 times, and then people passed on beliefs, like, after those things. Are you talking about, like, the major extinction events? Because I believe that there are way more than 3 extinction events, but even then, there weren't people living during those extinction events that would have them pass on their beliefs. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm not lost. I'm fine where the fuck I am. John, there are parts of the Bible that are as much historical accounts as anything else from that era and region. Mainly Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Kings, and Chronicles. What? Like, sure, Solomon and David may have existed, and some of the other figures in those times may have existed, but that doesn't mean that Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Kings, and Chronicles are history. They are theological books that are teaching a theological lesson. The Bible does have theological purposes, but that doesn't mean that that's all it has. And there's no reason to think that when those accounts were written, they were designed to fit into a larger biblical framework, which doesn't even exist yet. They do have theological component, but so, for example, does Herodotus, whose work gives us the concept of historical research. So while the Israelites didn't have, like, the idea that the New Testament would have been written, or that anything in the New Testament would be written, they did have this concept of a Messiah coming to free them. I mean, it's really not all that out there to say that, because all throughout Judges and everything like that, you had people that were, like, ordained by God, or at least picked by God to save the Israelite people. So the notion that somebody was going to be anointed and come to save the Israelites or the Jews at one point in time isn't really that far out there theologically. But the Bible as a historical document, you can't use the Bible to, like, actually date historical things. In Joshua, none of that shit happened. Like, the conquering and everything like that, it did not happen the way that Joshua has it. Archaeological evidence has pointed to the fact that the events in Joshua never happened. So you can't really use the Old Testament for good, like, historical information about what actually happened in the world. But you can use it as a historical document that teaches a theological lessons of the Israelite people. And in that way, it's valuable as a historical document. But it's not valuable as a historical document as far as the rest of the world goes, or even reality. I've come to realize that atheists aren't looking for evidence of God. Oh, well, shit, I'm glad you know me better than I know me. They are looking for evidence against God. No, I mean, I would say that I'm looking for evidence that explains whatever kind of phenomenon that we have, or explains why certain things are the way they are, instead of just jumping to the God conclusion. It's not that I'm looking for evidence against God. I'm just looking for answers to questions, and I'm finding that God lacks all of those answers. The fact is that deep down, atheists know God exists, but they try so hard to suppress it with emotions. Ah, the Ken Ham tactic. I gotcha. Atheists' lack of acceptance of God is not based on logic, it's based on emotions, because they don't want God to be real. No, it's not that I don't want God to be real. It's just that I accept that the evidence shows that we can't detect God, at least, and so therefore there's no reason to call him real. Instead, they turn the made-up myth of life coming by natural causes when all if science points to the Genesis account of creation. Wait, what? All of science points to that? Where? Other than from creation.com and Answers in Genesis and all of those creation-based sources that actually are pseudoscience? Yeah, okay, so you mean all of pseudoscience points to it. I gotcha. These are people of great faith in magical, mystical powers and impossible chances of natural causes. Wait a second. The people that say, oh, only natural shit exists in the reality, We're the ones that think about magical mystical powers. We're the ones that use magical mystical powers. I mean, I really don't know if you know what magical mystical powers are. Like, do you think that science is still like alchemy and like it's magic in the way of, oh, look, these people don't understand what science is, therefore anything I do that's science-based is fucking magic? The unquestioning faith of evolutionists in the occurrence and beneficial effects of good mutations is sustained despite overwhelming evidence against it. What evidence? There's legit no evidence against it. Please point to your sources, like the experiments or the papers or whatever the fuck that you got. Point me to them and I will take a look at them. Think about it! Chance mutations or intelligent design. Which explanation of the origin of incredible integrated complexity of life requires a greater faith? Fucking intelligent design? Because natural explanations do not require faith. Natural explanations are just fucking there. They occur in nature and requires no faith to believe in them because we can observe them. Godless engineer, if these subjects are so painful to you, why don't you just fuck off and bother someone else? Now, off you go, bald face. Take your awful catchphrase of dead eyes with you. Dead eyes? As far as I know, I have one of the most expressive faces like on YouTube. I cannot hide my expressions. So for you to say that I have dead eyes is, I don't know, I feel like you've never actually watched me. Also, they're not exactly painful as much as they are hilarious, because I love watching people present ridiculous ass propositions as if they actually believe in them, which to their credit, most of them do. There are some trolls out there, but hearing ridiculous shit being proposed in a serious manner is just fucking hilarious to me. And finally in the comments, or rather on Twitter, we have, I'm curious, when an atheist dies, what would the funeral be? I don't know, probably some kind of normal funeral or something, maybe with some nice secular words said about the person, remembering their life and what they did and the things they accomplished, the people they affected, you know, sentimental shit like that. Not any kind of mention of God or the afterlife or anything like that, but actually remembering what the person accomplished in life, what they actually did. Y'all gonna be reading Essential Biology or what? Who brings up creation at a funeral? Like, I don't know. Maybe it could happen at a religious funeral. I would think that at a religious funeral, they would talk about, like, faith and all that kind of stuff, while the rest of us are kind of grounded in the here and now and in reality. Not to say that Christians aren't based in reality or anything like that, but I'm just saying that we don't subscribe to the supernatural ideas that Christians do, so we're more grounded in what we know to exist in reality, not in stuff that we're told that exists. Thank you, heathens, for joining us this week for the comments. Man, there were a lot of dumbasses, but lucky for you, I do have a poll down there in the comments section and in the description. So if you will, go down there, vote, leave me a comment about who you voted for, and while you're down there, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you like this kind of dumbass content, and don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.